of Stevens Point Board of Public Works Committee meeting, recorded June 14, 2021.
Call the Board of Public Works meeting to order. It is 6:08. As I said before, the meeting is being held as a hybrid. Almost everyone is here in person. We are following the CDC guidelines, which is if you are vaccinated, masks are optional. If you are not vaccinated, you should be wearing a mask. We also have hand sanitizer available, and we have several people joining us through Zoom as a hybrid. Trish, could you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mayor Wiesa.
Here.
Jeremy Slawinski.
Again, I mentioned he was going to be calling in, but I don't see him yet.
Okay. Corey Laddick.
Actually, Comptroller is no longer part of the
he's
Board of
not.
Public Works. We voted to change that last month. We have an appointment this month to replace
I wasn't
Comptroller
aware.
Laddick.
Okay. Mary Kneebone.
Here.
Sean Morrow.
Here.
Ginger Keemar.
Here.
And Makira Zarazul.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum, so we will continue. First item on the agenda is the Director's Report, a couple of items, and this is information only. Director, you want to touch on that?
I certainly will. With respect to Business 51, I just wanted to let everyone know we'll be having a stakeholders meeting coming up here in about 2 weeks, and that will set the scene, for more public involvement to follow thereafter, probably sometime in late July. For that, as we try to pick our recommended alternative. So just information there, let you know kind of where we are on that overall schedule. The second item, otherwise, being the road resurfacing project. That project is going to be starting this week. We had a few delays with some utility relocates. Just needed to give the utility companies some more time to get things out of the way. Lots of utilities within the ditch lines there, the swales exist there. So they're busily working on that. Our contractor should be in there sometime about midweek this week to begin the road resurfacing that project there. And then lastly on the list was the street improvement project. That project has been very interesting so far. It's proceeding slowly as we thought, but probably even a little bit slower than we anticipated. We've encountered a fair amount more rock than we thought. We seem to get however you look at it, lucky or unlucky with the borings that we took. Several of them were probably within feet of outcroppings of rock. So we may have had a boring that didn't hit rock for 10 to 12 feet, and yet several feet away, the rock was about 1 foot underneath the existing road surface. So busily trying to blast that out of there. Did run into just a concern since WPS had been in there and relocated their gas main. Wanted to make sure that was protected, so we've been working with them. So blasting actually was halted for about the last week, resumed today. My understanding is everything went well with that. WPS is on site as we're doing that to make sure that everything is done well and doesn't disrupt their gas. So that project is still ongoing. They're moving over to Forest Street this week from Buchholz, which should get buttoned up here soon. So there are still other aspects of the thing that they're working on, so we're not completely held up with this, but things are going relatively slow at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Director. Item number 2 is the acceptance of the sidewalk list with an attached exhibit for the 2022 curb, gutter, and sidewalk project. Director?
As the packet otherwise includes on page 6, just the sidewalk repairs. This is an annual project we have. We divide the city into it's 5 sections, and we inspect one of those every year, and we send out the orders, which is the list that you have in front of you. Those are the repairs that we'll be sending out that we've identified that are necessary. We'll send out a letter to them, and they will have until the middle of May of next year to make those repairs if they wish to do them on their own. They're not required to, but we do offer them the opportunity to do that. And if they don't wish to do that, then we will have a contractor make that repair next year, and then the assessments will go out for those repairs thereafter.
Okay, with that, I'll need a motion.
I would move to approve the.
Moved by Zarazua, seconded by Morrow. Now, discussion.
I just
Alder Nebo.
have a quick question of the director. These are maybe one square or a couple squares, not necessarily the whole span.
Correct. We try to keep it to what we feel is necessary, and sometimes that's it's good or bad. We try to be cognizant of the cost that it's gonna, that may be imposed upon a property owner while trying to balance out what really needs to be done, there to correct the specific issue. Sometimes we try to correct, I don't wanna say one's proper, one's improper, but maybe a little bit better. Sometimes we might mark one when, just because we figure we can get that to work, understanding that we may be back in the next 5 years and marking another one. Other times, depending upon the severity of it, we may mark several of them to correct something, just to make sure that by next year there isn't an issue and, we're not coming back for another 4 years. So it does otherwise depend, and there is some subjective nature to how things are otherwise marked, but it is all based upon ADA requirements, and we do try to mark the minimal amount that corrects the actual deficiency.
And if an owner chooses to do their own, they still have to meet city standards for the,
They certainly do, because, we'll ask them, they need to notify us to make sure they do it, otherwise they will end up on the list and our contractor will show up and wonder, you want us to remove this brand new concrete. That's sometimes how we find out, but yet otherwise, they do notify us, and then we talk them through it to make sure that they do follow our standards.
thank you.
One other thing I want to point out, occasionally, city trees in the boulevard, the root system may cause a heave in some of the sidewalks. We take care of that. That's on us, that's not on the property owner. Okay, any other discussion? Comments from the audience? Alder Jennings?
I actually have a question about the director's report.
We don't discuss the director's report. That was an opinion from the city attorney a while ago. You can contact Director Badoon tomorrow, and he can answer any questions you need. Thank you. Any other comments regarding the sidewalk list? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Aye. That's right, I forgot to mention, Alder Slawinski did join us. I changed it, but I forgot about that. That actually freaked me out a little bit, Jeremy, thanks.
Sorry.
Powerful voice on the
It is. All right, and that is approved. Item number 3 is to approve the ordinance amendment in section 9.05 as it relates to parking. Director.
Just a couple of them this month. These are, one is just kind of a cleanup, and one is a request from the police department. Buchholz Avenue is often parked in there. It can be a fairly busy road, especially now we get into summer months, people trying to otherwise get to Buchholz Park for baseball games, launch a boat, do whatever there. And just coming right off of 2nd Street is often congested. I think they've probably received more complaints than we have in regards to that people don't necessarily feel safe there. So we feel that by eliminating the parking on at least one side there, that should get rid of that congestion, and people should feel safer turning there from onto Buchholz or even coming up to the stop sign there at 2nd Street. And the other one is after we implemented overnight parking, we changed the permitted parking for the downtown lots. It's just trying to clarify exactly what it is, because there are time limited parking restrictions there already. So it's simply just to clarify when those are imposed versus overnight parking, just to make sure that they weren't conflicting one another.
Okay, motion?
Move to approve.
Alder Slawinski, I'll move to approve the ordinance amendments relating to parking.
We'll give you the second, Alder Slawinski. Moved by Zarazua, seconded by Slawinski. Discussion. Comments from the audience? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That is approved, and we are adjourned at 6:16.
Videos of these meetings are available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.